Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and today we are previewing the Atlanta Falcons season for the 2018-2019 season. Look at this one. The Falcons had a sort of a down year, still made the playoffs, but compared to the year before where they made it to the Super Bowl, a down year. Matt Ryan wasn't an MVP, lost your offensive coordinator. Kyle Shanahan went to the 49ers, had to bring in good old Steve Sarkisian. Wasn't a smooth transition, but this team still has talent. I think that'll show in my prediction. Starting off week one, you're going up against the Eagles. The Eagles are a great team, and they have such a well-rounded team. And, you know, the Falcons do have a good defense, and they do have a very powerful offense. But we know even with Nick Foles, this team in Philadelphia can win games. And maybe I'm too high on them because they might not have Carson Wentz in week one, but they're going to be in Philly. This is their return after the Super Bowl. That place is going to be loud. They're going to be proud. It's going to be a tough environment to play in. I'm going to give the win to the Eagles in week one. Then week two, you're taking on the Panthers. I do think the Panthers are a very reputable team. I think they're a very staunch team. I do think the Falcons will be able to really hit them with their speed. Panthers are very brutal. They'll beat you up with their quarterback. They'll beat you up with their wide receivers. They'll beat you up with their defense. But I think the Falcons, having Julio Jones, Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman, Calvin Ridley, this will really be able to, even Mohamed Sanu, will really be able to provide a punch. You guys even have Jones on the defensive side. You have good old Desmond Trufant on the outside. This is going to be a team that can really beat teams with their speed. The Falcons, I think they're going to be able to do that to the Panthers, especially being in Atlanta week two. Then you're going up against the Saints. This is going to be a fun matchup this year between the Falcons and the Saints. But the Saints are so well-rounded. I think they are more well-rounded than the Falcons. Now, I think the Falcons have more explosiveness to their team. Matt Ryan, might be able to lead a team better with his arm. Maybe not all-around game, but at least with his arm, than Drew Brees can. Now, Drew Brees is extremely efficient. Drew Brees is still a great quarterback, and he's still an extremely smart quarterback. But if we're talking about who's going to be able to throw the ball down the field more consistently through four quarters and take hit after hit after hit, I think it's Matt Ryan. But Matt Ryan's defense isn't as good as Drew Brees' defense, and Drew isn't going to make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to give it to the Saints in week three. Then week four, you're going up against the Bengals. I'm not high on the Bengals. I'm high on the Falcons. Win. Then week five, you're going up against the Steelers. I think, again, with that speed, that explosiveness on offense, you can match the Steelers' explosiveness on offense, and you have a better defense. So I will give it to the Falcons in week five. Then you're going up against the Bucs in week six. If there are any Buccaneers fans watching this, I am sorry. I am not a fan of your franchise with your quarterback. I think Jameis Winston is not a good face to be presenting to the masses, and I'm not rooting for your team, to put it lightly. So I will go with the Falcons in week six. Then week seven, some people are high on the Giants. I'm not. I'll take Atlanta in Atlanta on Monday night. Then week eight is a bye for the Falcons. Week nine, coming off a bye against the Redskins. This is a team that, again, has so much to do with their speed, so much to do with their energy, going under Sarkisian and fully, developing and meshing under this offense. I think they'll be able to attack this Redskins team that is usually banged up and hurt. It might be a close game, but I think in the end, the Falcons will end up pulling it out. Then week 10, you're going up against the Browns. Need I say more? Then week 11, you're going up against the Cowboys. I've talked about this before. The Cowboys can manage a game. They have explosiveness. Dak has shown before that he can take over a game and throw for 300 yards and be explosive on his feet. Obviously, they have this guy named Ezekiel Elliott. But a lot of that defense is up in the air with suspensions, with health. I don't think the secondary is going to be good. I know Cowboys fans think they're going to have a top 5 defense in the league, but also a Gallup poll recently said that Dallas Cowboys have the most delusional fan base in all of sports, and I believe it. It's fake news. I made it up, but you probably believe me. And I think the Falcons will be able to destroy the Cowboys in week 11, especially being in Atlanta. Then week 12, you guys have been on a hot run since you lost to the Saints. You go up against the Saints in week 12. I'm going to have to give it to the Saints, unfortunately, for Falcons fans. I think that you guys have the firepower to beat them, but I think just this time around, and maybe it will change if you guys meet up in the playoffs, but I think this time around the Saints are going to get the better edge of you again in week 12. Then week 13, you're going up against the Ravens. Ravens have a good defense. They have some explosiveness on that offensive side, but ultimately the Falcons are a better run team. They have more, experience, at least when it comes to, they have a better quarterback. Matt Ryan's better than Joe Flacco. No one's arguing on that. They have a better weapon in Julio Jones than any of the wide receivers on Baltimore. They have 2 better running backs than any of the running backs in Baltimore. And defensively, I'll give it to the Ravens, but the Ravens have been kind of iffy and wishy-washy before. I think they gave up 30 points to the Bears last year, and they've consistently been either boom or bust. This might be going a boom game. A bust game, a bust game for the Ravens in Week 13. I'll give the win to the Falcons. Week 14, you're going up against the Packers in Green Bay. For that lone fact that it's in Green Bay, I will give it to Green Bay. And then Week 15, you're going up against the Cardinals. Cardinals are a fairly decent team, but there's a lot of question marks at that quarterback position. Will Sam Bradford be healthy? Is Sam Bradford even good? Will they be starting Mike Glennon? If so, it's going to be a win by 40 for the Falcons. And then you have the Josh Rosen question of what will Josh Rosen be if he is the starting quarterback, and how ready is he to go up against an elite team like the Falcons? With that many question marks, I'm going to go with the Falcons in Week 15. Then Week 16, you're going up against the Panthers in Carolina. I'm going to give it to Carolina. Divisional games are always tough. It's in Carolina. I think for that sole fact, it's going to be a win for Carolina. I think it's going to be tight. You could totally win that game. That could be one that flips. But I'll give it to Carolina as of right now. And then Week 17, you go up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I already stated my feelings about them, so it's going to be a win for the Falcons. And you guys finish 11-5, 3-3 in the division. But however, I think that one of those Saints games can totally flip, and one of the Panthers game as well can flip as well. And then 7-5 in the conference, 7-1 at home, and 4-4 away. Let me know your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons season, what you think they're going to finish, how you think they're going to do. Will they be able to show that explosive, high-powered offense that they showed 2 years ago? And maybe finally, just 1 year of Sarkisian was enough to get everything back into shape and running up again. I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out mostavailablepodcast.com and patreon.com/mostavailablepodcast. And I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.